All right, so I'm gonna finish the review. Let's see, what question should I go back to? Let's see. Go back to question, this one right here. Okay, so we're dividing. I don't think I have the same one as here, but yeah. So divide these right here. So I'm going to be using long division for this one right here. And you're going to want to use long division for number 11. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check for placeholders that I might need. So I start with the leading degree and count down. So I got 3, 2, 1, 0. We're good. So we have all the terms here. Same here, starting with the degree 1 and then 0 degrees. So we're good. So for the setup, I'm going to put the 5x plus 3 right here. And then we'll have the 20x to the third minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then we'll start. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is divide. So divide the leading terms of both polynomials. So 20x to the third divided by 5x, that's going to be equal to 4x squared. So that's going to be the first term of our quotient. Now I'm going to take that 4x squared, I'm going to multiply it by the 5x to the third. So what's right here? So the term that goes here multiplies with this right here. So multiplying these together, 4x squared times by 5x is going to be 20x to the third. This term should always be the same as the term above it, always. For this first term, for this part right here. But then when I multiply the 4x squared by the 3x, that's going to be plus 12x squared. Okay, now what we're going to do is subtract. So what I like to do is flip the signs of everything that's under here. So flip them. This one's positive, I'm changing it to negative. This one's positive, I'm changing it to negative. And then whenever these add, they become 0, and that should always be the case for the first term. And then these together is going to be, is that going to be 9 x squared? Yeah, so that's going to be negative. Oh, no, they're both negative. So negative, negative, so it's going to be negative 15x squared. Okay. And then we bring down the other terms, so 4x plus 1. Okay, next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the negative 15x squared. So we're going to repeat the same process that we just did starting with the divide. So I'm going to take the negative 15x squared, I'm going to divide it by 5x, which is the same exact thing that we did before. Take the leading term, divide by the leading term. Start the process over, leading term divided by the leading term. So that's going to be negative 3x. I'm going to put that up here. And this 3x needs to multiply by the 5x plus 3. So that's going to be negative 15x squared when I multiply these together. And then that's going to be negative 9x, like that right there. I'm going to subtract them, which means I'm going to flip the sign. So that's negative, make it positive, negative, make it positive. So that's going to be 0. This is going to be 5x, bring down the 1. And then one last time we're going to repeat. So I'm going to take the 5x, divide by the 5x. 5x divided by 5x, that's equal to 1. So then plus 1. This 1 has to multiply by the 5x and the 3. So multiply by 5x plus 3. That's going to be 5x plus 3. I'm going to subtract them, so I'm going to flip their signs, make that negative, make that negative. This becomes 0, and this becomes negative 2. This is our answer, and now I stop right here because we have the terms x squared, 0. We got to a number here for our coefficient, and then this right here is our remainder. So whenever you guys are typing this in as your answer, so I know what we said to do. Whenever it's like on the homework, I asked you guys to write it as 4x squared minus 3x plus 1 plus negative 2 over 5x plus 3. You're not going to have to do that in ALEKS. All you're going to have to do is you're going to type in the polynomial for the quotient. So right here, you'll type in the 4x squared all the way up to positive 1. For the remainder, you're just going to type in negative 2. Let's actually just check it here. Let's see if I at least have the remainder. Oh my gosh, my remainder is incorrect. So I did something wrong here. Oh, well, that's because this isn't the same problem. That's right, this is 15x to the third. Oh yeah, I don't even have the same problem. But there you go. That's how you would do the long division, okay? Sometimes you're going to get, so like this one right here, you have a 5x squared plus 4x. But that's okay. Just do the same process that we did here, and you should be good. Okay. Moving on to the next question. So this next one, I don't know why it does the one like that. So next question is going to be synthetic division. Again, I have a different question here. But yeah, this is going to be synthetic division. This is going to be for 12 and for 13. So I'm going to this is just going to be the same type of question. So for this one right here, now it's already set up for you guys. So that's good because now you don't have to check for placeholders. Like this one right here, it's already set up for you to do the placeholder. So this is actually really nice. So this should be a good setup for you guys. So when I'm doing this right here and using synthetic division, it also already puts the number in the box. So the number, which should be x equals 3, that's already in the box right there. I'm just going to bring down the negative 3. So you're going to type negative 3 into this box right here. And then we'll do negative 3 times 3. That's going to be negative 9. You put that here. Add these together, and you get 0. And then 0 times by 3 is 0. You put 0 here. 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. 0 times by 3 is going to be 0. 7 plus 0 is going to be 7. So that should be there. Now write your answer. So how are you going to write your answer? So in this box right here, you're going to write negative 3. So that's for this negative 3, but then you also have to write out the coefficient. Now this polynomial is going to start with 1 degree less than this one right here. So this one is to the third. This one is going to be squared. So negative 3x squared. And then it would be plus 0x plus 0. So I think this one is just going to be negative 3x squared. That's very odd. So negative 3x squared. And then our remainder is going to be 7. So that should be how you write the answer. Definitely an odd one. I don't think plus 0x plus 0. So if this had been 2, this would have been 2x. If this had been 1, that would have been 1. This is what you would have typed in right here. But the 7 goes here. And then, you'll do the same thing for 13. For 14 and 15, this is also just using synthetic division. So you might have to watch out for placeholders though. So it's the remainder theorem. So the remainder theorem. So we're going to use synthetic division. We have to do the setup this time. So we have, now the number that they're giving us right here is going to be the number that's in the box. So it's going to be negative 2. So negative 2, we'll have 2. Make sure I don't need a placeholder. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, we're good. So we have 2, we have 3, negative 4, and negative 6. Bring down the 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Add those together. That's negative 1. And then negative 1 times by negative 2 is positive 2. Add those together. And you're going to get negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Add those together, and you're going to get negative 2. This is the remainder. For the quotient part, so for the quotient, you're going to put 2x squared minus x minus 2. So this right here is what you'll type in for the quotient. For the remainder, you're going to type in negative 2. For p of negative 2, you're also going to type in negative 2 because that's the purpose of the remainder theorem. The purpose of the remainder theorem is to prove that evaluating the polynomial using synthetic division will produce the remainder as well, or however you want to say it in that way. But yeah, that's what you would do. So this part right here will be -2, and this right here will be -2. And then this right here, the quotient, will go in right there. All right, now we have some factoring that we got to do. So for 16, factor by grouping. So we're going to group up these two terms and those two terms. Factor out the greatest common factor here. That's going to be y squared. And then you'll be left with 2y minus 3. And then you'll factor out the greatest common factor here, which is just 1. And that's going to be 2y minus 3. You can factor out the 2y minus 3. So those are gone when you factor it out. And then you'll be left with y squared plus 1. So there you go. And that's what you would type in to, that's what you would type in. I think that's what the next question is. So would that be question 18? Nope, 19, 20. Factor by grouping, yeah. So that's what you would do. You would just type in those factors. All right, the next question, factor completely. This is going to be a trinomial, so 3 terms. Now, we did go through a lot of practice for this right here, but if there's the leading coefficient here, we talked about how that's the more complicated one, unless you can factor out this as a greatest common factor, which I think we can. So if I factor that out, that's going to be y squared plus 6y. Then what is 96 divided by 6? That's going to be 16. Now I can just factor this as I normally would. So 6. Now if it's a trinomial and there's leading coefficient here is 1, then I just have to do some guess and check right here. So I know that these will multiply to be y squared. These numbers have to multiply to be -16, but they also have to add to be 6. So it multiplies to be -16 and add to be 6. So 1 and 16, 2 and 8. As long as this is +8 and -2, that will work. So y minus 2 and y plus 8. And then that's what you would type in for your answer. You type in 6, and then y minus 2, and then y plus 8. So I think for these ones right here, the trinomial ones, you don't have to do the difficult method, because I think for all of them, this is you can factor out the leading coefficient as a greatest common factor. So, all right, then we have factoring. This is going to be a sum or a difference of cubes. I did tell you guys that I would provide you the formulas, and here they are, but you guys have to know how to use them. So what I do right here is I take the cube roots of both of these right here. So take the cube roots of both of these. So I would say that A is going to be equal to 5, since that's the cube root of 125, and then B is going to be equal to 3w, since the cube root of 27 is 3, the cube root of w cubed is 3. So this is what I'm going to use right here for A and B. And because because we have minus right here, we'll use this formula right here. So we should have 5 minus 3w. And then we're going to have a squared. So that's going to be 25. Then we're going to have a times b, so plus, we're going to plus a times b, that's going to be 15w. Plus, then we're going to have b squared, so that's going to be 9w squared, and that is going to be your answer. That is all you have to do. So again, kind of the process right here. Find the cube roots of both of these terms right here. Don't worry about the negative. Find the a, find the b, and then if it's negative, use this one right here. If it's positive, use this one right here. Sorry, if it's negative, use this one right here. If it's positive, use this one right here. And then, yeah, that should give you the answer. And then the last questions, they're going to be the same. So for the last questions, it's using use the factor theorem. Factor theorem remainder theorem, synthetic division, they're all using the same thing, synthetic division. So we're going to use the factor theorem to evaluate the function and determine if the binomial is a factor. So use the factor theorem to see if x minus 2 is a factor or not a factor of this polynomial. So that means 2, by the way, if this is x minus 2, this right here is going to be 2. Okay, so we should already have that part. Make sure that you don't need any placeholders. We have 4, 3, 2, constant. So we do need a placeholder here for 1. So we have negative 2, 2, 6, 0, negative 8. Then we're going to use synthetic division, drop the negative 2. So negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Add those together, you're going to get negative 2. Multiply these, you get negative 4. And then that's going to be 2. And then that's going to be 4. That's going to be 4. Add those together, that's going to be 8. We get 0. If the remainder is 0, so put whatever the remainder is right here. So that's going to be 0. Put whatever the remainder is there. If it is 0, then it's a factor. If it's not 0, then it's not a factor. So in this case, it's going to x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, all right, and then that's going to be that will finish the test for you guys. So study a lot, practice as many questions as you need, and you'll be ready for the test.